This is Michael Hale from RedZone Radio, and we have some breaking developments coming in this morning. I want to be careful with the wording here because a lot of this is still unconfirmed. A lot of it is scattered, and nobody in any official office seems ready to speak on it yet. But there are enough reports coming in from enough different places that we can't just brush it off as random noise. So we're staying with this.
We were about 2 minutes away from doing the normal start to the morning show. Traffic, weather, the usual complaints about subway delays and coffee prices, and then our phones started lighting up. At first it looked like one of those weird internet rumor spirals, but the messages just kept coming.
Right. We've got people describing loud booms, flashes over the water, some kind of disturbance along parts of the coast, and we are trying to separate what people actually heard from what they think they heard. Those are two different things. They always are.
Some of the messages are coming from New Jersey, some from Long Island, some from people saying they heard jets where they normally wouldn't hear jets.
And before anybody goes running to the worst possible conclusion at 6 in the morning, let me say this plainly. Strange sound does not automatically mean catastrophe. It could be military exercises, it could be an industrial accident, it could be weather carrying sound in a weird way. We do not know yet.
But we do know something is off.
Enough to keep talking about it, yes. So if you're calling in, keep it specific. Tell us what you heard, where you are, what time it happened, and what you actually saw with your own eyes. Don't give us your cousin's story. Give us what you know.
And if you're near the water this morning, especially in Jersey, Staten Island, Long Island, anywhere with a clear line to the coast, stay with us.
All right, we're going to the phones. You're on RedZone.
Hi, I'm in Bayonne. I don't really call radio stations, so sorry if I sound weird, but something happened maybe 20 minutes ago, and everybody on my street came outside because the whole house shook. Not like a truck going by, not like thunder, like a hard shake. My kitchen window rattled, and then maybe 30 seconds after that, there was another sound, lower, kind of rolling, and people are out on the sidewalk right now trying to figure out if something exploded near the port.
You're doing fine. Stay with me. Bayonne. All right, when you say the whole house shook, was it one impact and then the rolling sound after, or did it feel like multiple impacts?
One hard one first, then the second sound kind of dragged across the sky, if that makes sense.
It does. Did you see smoke? Any emergency response? Sirens?
Yes, sirens. A lot more than normal. I'm not seeing smoke from my house, but people online are saying there's smoke over by Newark, and my sister texted me from Elizabeth asking if I heard it too, so it's not just here.
Okay, but to be fair, once one person posts something online, everybody starts attaching their own fear to it. We're not dismissing what you heard, we're just being careful. Is there anything else unusual? Aircraft, lights, anything on the water?
I can hear helicopters now, more than one, and that's why I called, because it doesn't feel like one isolated thing. It feels like everyone's pretending it's normal because nobody wants to say something is wrong first.
That's a fair way to put it. Here's what I want you to do. Stay inside if you can. Keep your phone charged. Don't get in the car unless you absolutely have to. We're going to keep tracking this. Thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you.
She sounded more unsettled than alarmist.
She did, which actually makes me take it more seriously.
We just got 3 more texts while she was talking. One from Staten Island, one from Long Beach, one from somebody saying they're seeing unusual Coast Guard movement.
Or what they think is Coast Guard movement.
Right.
And for the record, this would be a great time for somebody official to say literally anything. City, state, port authority, anybody. Just let people know whether this is an exercise or not.
We're checking feeds, local agencies, emergency services, all of it. Nothing clear yet.
Which is not helping.
Mike, I've also got a cluster of posts from out east, Long Island. People talking about ships.
Ships always sound dramatic on social media. Somebody sees one vessel through morning fog and suddenly it's a movie trailer.
This one doesn't read like a joke.
Then let's take the call. You're on RedZone.
Yeah, I'm out near Montauk. I'm calling from my truck because I came in from the docks maybe 15 minutes ago, and I'm telling you right now, there are ships out there that should not be out there.
Okay, slow down and stay with me. You're near Montauk, at the docks. What exactly are you seeing?
Not seeing now, saw before I came in, because I wanted to get closer to land and see if anybody else was noticing it. There are multiple vessels farther offshore than you'd normally clock at first glance, but close enough that with the binoculars you can tell they aren't right. Their profiles are wrong, their spacing is wrong, and they were not moving like commercial traffic.
When you say their profiles are wrong, you mean military?
I mean not fishing, not cargo, not our usual patrol pattern, and definitely not pleasure boats. Big holes, low light, no normal chatter on the marine bands that I could pick up. And before you ask, yes, I know what I'm talking about. I've been on that water my whole life.
Did you see any markings?
Not clearly, no. Too much haze and not enough daylight. But I saw smaller movement breaking from at least one of them, fast movement. Could have been boats, could have been launch craft. And I know how that sounds, trust me, I know. But there is no version of this that feels routine.
Steady. Did anyone at the harbor say they'd been notified about drills or closures?
That's the thing. Nobody knew anything. We were all asking each other. One guy said maybe it was Navy exercises. Another guy said, then why's nobody been warned? Then we started hearing people's phones go off with all these weird posts from Jersey and the airport, and suddenly nobody was laughing.
Are people leaving the docks?
Yeah, fast. But some are staying because they've got family out on boats and they can't reach them. Cell service is getting weird too. Calls are hanging.
All right. Get yourself somewhere safe and stay inland for now. If you hear anything official or see movement toward shore, call us back if you can.
I will. And listen to me carefully. If this is what I think it is, we are already late.
Understood.
Okay.
He did not sound that he was guessing.
No, he sounded like somebody trying very hard not to say the most frightening thing in his head.
Which is where I think a lot of people are right now.
All right, here's what we have so far. Unconfirmed reports of explosions or impact sounds in New Jersey. Reports of unusual vessels off Long Island. Increased air activity. Spotty communications. No official statement. That is the picture right now, as incomplete and frustrating as that is.
We also just got a note from the engineer. He says there's interference across multiple frequencies, not just ours.
Interference can come from 1,000 things.
He specifically said this isn't the kind he usually sees.
All right.
Mike?
I know.
There's another message here from a listener near Newark Airport. She says this is not an accident. She says there are people running and emergency vehicles converging.
We don't know what happened at Newark yet. Let's not lock into language we can't back up. But I will say this. If you are anywhere near an airport, a port, a military installation, or major bridge access this morning, you might want to give yourself a little distance until we know more.
That's probably the safest thing we can say right now.
And one more thing. Don't flood 911 because you heard a rumor online. If you have an actual emergency, call. If you do not, let the lines stay open.
We're going to stay with this through the hour.
Yes, we are. Something is happening. We just don't know what shape it takes yet. We are back, and if you're just joining us, the picture is getting wider, not clearer. That's the problem. The reports are spreading faster than the answers. We are now seeing the same kind of confusion reflected in multiple cities.
Seattle, San Diego, Miami, Boston. We've seen mentions from all of them in the last half hour. Coastal cities, airports, port facilities, major access points.
Which means one of two things. Either this is a spectacularly strange chain of coincidences, or there is some coordinated event unfolding and the public has not been brought into it yet.
I also want to say this carefully. A lot of people are sending videos. Most of them are shaky, grainy, impossible to verify, and that's how misinformation gets ahead of reality. So we're being cautious. But there are enough of them now that it is getting harder to dismiss the whole thing as confusion.
We've got clips of low-flying aircraft. We've got distant smoke. We've got people claiming military personnel are moving in areas where they wouldn't normally be moving. And still no straight answer.
I just got a text from my brother.
All right.
He's National Guard. He doesn't usually text during duty. He just sent me 4 words. Stay inside. This is real.
Okay.
That's all he sent.
Then that's the most serious thing we've heard all morning.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to the phones. You're on RedZone.
I'm at JFK. Well, not inside anymore. I was dropping off my sister for a flight, and the whole place changed in maybe 10 minutes. At first, it was just delays and some shouting. Then security started moving people away from certain areas without telling anybody why. Then there were these sounds outside. Not close exactly, but close enough that everybody stopped talking at once. And then people started running before they even knew what they were running from.
Stay with me. You're safe right now?
I'm in my car. I got out of the terminal loop because people were abandoning cars and trying to turn around at the same time. It's a mess here.
What did you actually see with your own eyes?
Men with guns.
Uniformed security, tactical police, military?
That's why I'm calling, because I don't know. They were armed, they were moving fast, and I did not recognize the uniforms. And before you say I was panicking, I know what airport police look like. These weren't airport police.
Did you hear anybody identify themselves?
No, that was the worst part. No instructions, no explanation, just movement and shouting. And then I saw people inside pointing out toward the runway, toward the far side, and somebody near me said there were other men coming in from service access.
Did you see insignia, vehicles, language, anything distinct?
I heard yelling that was not English. I'm not going to pretend I know what language it was, I don't, but it wasn't English. And then my sister grabbed me and said we needed to go right now.
All right, do not go back toward the airport for any reason. Get away from that area. Stick to local roads if the major lanes are jammed. Keep your radio on and try not to make 10 calls at once. Save your battery.
Okay, thank you. Please tell people this is not normal.
I think they're starting to understand that.
The phone board just exploded after that call.
Which tells you a lot of people are hearing the same thing.
We also just had a brief emergency tone hit the monitor and then cut out before any message came through.
Say that again?
Emergency alert tone. A second or two, then nothing. No instructions, no voice, no text follow-up that we can see.
That is not reassuring.
No, it isn't.
Let's take another one. You're on RedZone.
I'm in Brooklyn, and I'm telling you, something is wrong with the power and the network at the same time. My lights dipped twice, then came back, and my internet dropped. I thought it was just the building. Then the guy across the hall came out and said he'd heard jets and saw smoke toward the water. Now nobody can get a clean call out.
Which part of Brooklyn?
South side, not far from the waterfront.
Are people staying inside or heading out?
Both, which is making it worse. Some people are trying to leave right now because they think if they wait, they'll get trapped. Others are standing around on the sidewalk arguing about whether this is a drill, a cyber attack, some kind of military lockdown, all of it. Nobody knows. That's the part that's making people crazy.
Have you seen any official presence? Police, emergency vehicles, anything?
Sirens, yes. Patrol cars went by fast, no stopping, no loudspeakers, no instructions. That's what feels wrong. If this was contained, somebody would be talking to us.
Have you heard anything from friends or family outside New York?
My cousin in Boston sent me one message saying they were hearing the same kind of things there, then nothing after that. And my friend in Miami posted there were people rushing out of the airport, and then his feed stopped updating. I know how that sounds. I know social media is a mess, but this feels bigger than one city.
It does. Are you staying put for now?
I think so, unless we lose power completely. I've got my parents with me. They're older. I can't throw them into highway traffic unless I know where I'm taking them.
That's probably smart. Keep water close. Charge everything. Stay away from windows if you hear aircraft overhead, and keep listening.
We are. Please don't go off air.
We're still here.
And to the point he made, yes, the silence from official channels is becoming a story in itself. Nobody expects every answer instantly, but the longer the vacuum lasts, the worse people imagine it must be.
Mike, I'm also seeing reports that Fort Hamilton and McGuire aren't responding to media inquiries.
If that's true, that is a big deal.
I know.
but we need to phrase it carefully. We do not know whether they are unable to respond, unwilling to respond, or simply overwhelmed.
Right.
We've got one more line. Go ahead.
I'm in Lower Manhattan, and I work early shifts near the ferry side. There were rumors going around before sunrise that there was some kind of security action near the water, but nobody took it seriously. Then one of the guys in our building came in saying he saw aircraft over the harbor that he couldn't identify. Then we all got alerts from friends in other states saying, "Are you seeing this too?" And that's when everybody started getting quiet.
What made you call now?
Because I just watched 3 men in uniform run past our block with rifles, and no one around me recognized what branch they were supposed to be from. They moved like military, but nobody knew whose military.
Did they engage anyone? Were there police with them?
No police that I saw. People just flattened themselves against walls and let them pass. And there was this moment where the whole street felt like it held its breath, like everybody understood before anybody said it that normal rules were gone.
Are you sheltered now?
Inside, yes, but my office wants to know if we're still reporting to work. Can you believe that? They sent an email asking if people can come in later once transportation stabilizes.
I think transportation is not the main issue right now. Stay where you are. Do not move toward downtown access points. Do not assume transit is safe until you hear otherwise.
So you think this is an attack?
I think something coordinated is happening across multiple locations, and until somebody in authority tells the country what this is, people should stop treating it like a normal inconvenience.
Thank you. That's more honesty than we've gotten anywhere else.
We're trying.
That's 3 calls, same pattern, different boroughs, same feeling.
Yes, confusion is turning into recognition. People still don't know what they're looking at, but they know it does not belong in a normal morning.
And the texts keep mentioning the same things: airports, water access, power issues, strange uniforms, aircraft, silence.
Then here's where we are. We cannot name the event yet, but we can say it is widespread, it is serious, and it is not being handled in public view the way a routine emergency would be handled. That much is now obvious.
Stay with us.
Yes, stay with us. We have it now. We have the word nobody wanted to say without backing it up. A Pentagon source, carried by multiple major desks within the last few minutes, is using the word invasion. I'm going to say that again, slowly, because I still almost don't believe I'm saying it on live radio in New York City. A Pentagon source is using the word invasion.
We're also hearing the president is expected to address the nation, though no exact time has been given yet. Highway cameras are showing gridlock in multiple states. Airports are either shut down, being contested, or inaccessible. Calls are failing by the second.
This is now beyond rumor. Foreign military forces are on American soil in multiple regions. We do not know the full scale. We do not know command structure. We do not know whether every report of occupation is accurate, but this is real.
I can't reach my parents. I've tried 4 times.
Keep trying when you can, then stop and conserve the phone.
Yeah.
We keep going. We have to. You're on RedZone.
I'm in Queens, and my husband is NYPD. He called me 20 minutes ago, and I could barely hear him, but he said they were engaging hostiles near one of the bridge approaches. He used that word, hostiles. I have never heard him talk like that in 15 years. He told me to lock the apartment door, fill the tub, turn the radio on, and not open for anyone.
All right. Did he say which bridge?
He started to, and then the line cut out. I heard yelling behind him, and then what sounded like gunfire, and then nothing. I've called back maybe 20 times, and it won't connect.
You have children with you.
2. Both home, both asking me why helicopters keep circling and why I'm crying in the kitchen.
Then listen carefully. You do exactly what he told you. Lockdown, water stored, interior room if the situation outside worsens. Keep the kids away from live footage and from windows. They do not need more fear than they already have. Has anyone in your building been told to evacuate?
No. People are banging on doors asking each other what they heard, but nobody official has come through.
That means information is outrunning the instructions. So for now, assume shelter is safer than movement unless you are directly threatened. If that changes, we'll say it as soon as we know.
He said they had heavy weapons. He said they were organized. Mike, who are these people?
I wish I could answer that. Right now, the honest answer is we know they are foreign forces, and we know they hit multiple entry points at once. Beyond that, details are still coming together.
I never thought I'd hear this here.
Neither did I. Stay strong for your kids.
I'm trying.
We've got reports of bridges, tunnels, power stations, all being hit or disrupted at nearly the same time.
Which tells you planning. This was not random. This was designed.
And people are running on whatever assumption makes the most sense to them in the absence of guidance. Some are trying to leave. Some are locking down. Some are emptying stores.
Let's take the next line. You're on RedZone.
I'm a transit worker. I'm underground and I got enough signal for one call, maybe. Train stopped. Whole line dead. Lights went out for a second, came back dim, then off again in parts. We've got people stuck between stations and nobody can tell us if power's coming back or if we need to evacuate through the tunnels.
How many people are with you?
Hundreds across the line, maybe more. I can only speak for what I know in our section, but there are train crews trying to keep people calm, and it's getting harder because everyone's hearing the same rumors down here, but nobody can verify anything. Some say Lower Manhattan's under direct attack. Some say all bridges are closed. Some say the tunnels are targets too. You can imagine what that does underground.
Are emergency services in contact with you?
Intermittent. Lots of overlapping instructions, then silence. It feels like every agency's trying to talk at once, and then the system just drops.
Are people panicking?
Not full panic yet, but we're close. People have kids with them, older passengers, medical issues. And once the air starts feeling stale, people start imagining the worst, whether it's real or not.
Can you tell listeners what the crews need most right now?
Calm, less rumor. If family members know somebody's underground, don't flood every emergency line unless there's specific information to give. Let crews work. And if anybody from command is listening, we need unified instructions, not 5 different half messages.
Have you heard anything yourself that makes you think this is going to get worse before it gets better?
Yeah, the way the communications sound. I've worked emergencies before. You can hear the difference between a strained system and a broken one. This sounds broken.
Stay on the line with your people. You're doing important work.
We're trying.
That might be the sentence of the day. Everybody's trying. Nobody seems to be in control of the whole picture.
Mike, we may have the emergency address soon.
Good. The country needs to hear a voice above the noise.
We've also got widespread reports of banks overwhelmed, grocery stores being mobbed, gas lines growing, and highways freezing up.
Which is exactly what happens when people realize they waited too long to decide whether to stay or run.
And with the bridges already under stress, movement may not even be possible.
One more call. Go ahead.
I'm in Staten Island, and I finally got through. My parents live with me. We heard this morning, maybe from across the water at first, but now we've got neighbors saying there are armed men moving near shoreline access, and everybody's trying to decide if they should leave for Jersey, head deeper into the island, or just barricade. I need somebody to say what the smart choice is, because every minute we wait, the roads look worse.
The smart choice depends on whether you have a destination that is definitely safer than where you are. Do you?
No. That's the problem. My brother is in Jersey City, and he says don't come there because they had impacts and heavy response already. My cousin upstate says come there, but getting there means crossing chaos with 2 elderly parents who can barely manage stairs.
Then I'm not going to give you fantasy advice. If your current location can be secured and you're not under immediate threat, shelter may be the safer choice than gambling on clogged roads and uncertain checkpoints. Do you have water, food, medication?
Some. Not enough for days, but enough for now.
Then use now. Do not burn fuel and energy on a move you can't finish. Watch for official evacuation orders. Keep your parents calm. Get everything in one room if you need to move quickly later.
People outside are saying the city's lost already. They're saying this is over.
People say extreme things when they're terrified. New York is not lost because terrified people on a sidewalk said it's lost. Understand me? The situation is serious, very serious, but fear talks bigger than reality in the first hours of every crisis.
I needed to hear that.
Good. Hold your ground unless the facts change.
Thank you.
I think people are searching for tone as much as information right now. They want to know how frightened they're allowed to be.
And the answer is, frightened enough to take this seriously, not so frightened that you make yourself more vulnerable. That's the line.
Easier said than done.
Absolutely.
I've got word the presidential address is imminent.
Then when it comes, we'll carry it. Until then, this is the truth as we know it. America is under coordinated attack. New York is in the opening hours of something historic and terrible, and the ordinary morning is over. We've just carried the emergency address. Martial law declared. Citizens instructed to shelter in place unless otherwise directed by local emergency command. That is the official line now. The country has heard it. There's no ambiguity left.
Lower Manhattan is seeing direct combat reports. Entry points to Manhattan are contested or seized in multiple locations. Hospitals are already overwhelmed. Banking systems are unstable or down. We're hearing cyber attacks alongside physical strikes.
And inside this building, the conversation none of us wanted to have has started. Do we stay on air, or do we leave while leaving is still possible?
I think you already know where you stand.
I do. We stay as long as we can be useful.
Then we keep going.
You're on RedZone.
My son is at school in the Bronx. They told us not to come get the kids. They said shelter in place and wait for instructions. But there's fighting on the radio, there are helicopters overhead, and every instinct in my body is telling me to get in the car and bring my child home. I need somebody to tell me if staying put is the right thing, or if I'm failing him by not moving.
You are not failing him by not moving. Let me start there. Schools are following emergency protocol because a controlled building with staff, supplies, and interior rooms is often safer than roads filled with panic. How old is your son?
9.
Then he is almost certainly being kept with his class, with teachers trying to stay calm, and with adults whose job right now is exactly this problem. If you get into a car and join a city in motion without a route or clearance, you may make it impossible to reach him and impossible to get back. I know that's hard to hear.
I keep imagining him scared and thinking I didn't come.
Then when you do speak to him, or if the school sends a message, what he needs to hear is that you followed the safest instruction available, not that you ran into chaos because fear demanded movement. If the order changes, we'll say it, but right now the school may be the safer place.
People in our building are saying there are foreign troops in parts of Manhattan already. Is that real?
We have confirmed combat activity in Lower Manhattan and reports of enemy control over key access routes. That does not mean every rumor on every block is accurate. The city is too loud with fear right now for that. But yes, parts of New York are under direct pressure.
I don't know how to sit still.
You don't have to be still. Prepare. Water, medications, phones charged, shoes by the door, lights limited if needed. Preparation is movement with purpose. Panic is movement without it.
All right, that helps.
Good. Stay with us.
The lines don't stop, because now people know the word. Once the word is official, the fear changes shape. We've got recurring reports from Long Island again.
Put it through. You're on RedZone.
It's the guy from Montauk earlier. I called back because they landed. I didn't want to say it before because I knew how it would sound. They landed. Small craft came in fast after first light, and now there are armed personnel moving on the roads near the beach access. Some people tried to film, some ran, some froze, and now the whole town feels like it woke up inside the wrong country.
Are you sheltered?
For the moment. A bunch of us moved inland a little, and we're trying to keep track of who made it off the water. Some didn't. Some boats still haven't checked in.
Did you see insignia or hear any language clearly enough to identify?
Not clearly enough to swear to it on air, no. But I can swear these are not ours, and they know exactly what they're doing. They moved straight for useful ground. They didn't mill around. They didn't hesitate. They moved like they had maps.
Are local police there?
Some. Too few. Way too few. There was gunfire maybe 15 minutes ago, farther east of where I'm holed up. Hard to tell who fired first. Hard to tell anything through the wind and everyone shouting.
What are people doing right now?
Families are trying to decide whether to hide or drive. But if they drive where? The highways are bad, and if the coast is compromised in more than one place, every route feels like a guess. That's what this is now. A country of guesses.
Do you need anything specific broadcast for your area?
Yeah, tell people not to wait on the beach thinking they're going to understand what's happening better if they can see it. We lost precious time that way. Curiosity is dangerous now.
That's a good warning.
And tell them if they've got older family, move early inside the house, not late. Once the noise gets closer, people stop thinking clearly.
We'll say it.
Thank you.
There it is. Real-time confirmation from somebody we heard earlier in the morning, when even he was trying not to believe what he was seeing.
Mike, our producer is asking again whether we should relocate to a lower floor.
In a minute. Keep the mic live.
You can hear it in the room now. Nobody's pretending this is temporary anymore.
Because it isn't.
We've also got new reports that some hospitals are establishing triage areas outside because interiors are overloaded.
And that's only the first half of the day.
We have another caller. Go ahead.
I'm a nurse. I just got off a brutal shift that turned into something else entirely. We were treating injuries from impacts, from debris, from panic, then from gunfire. And nobody could keep up with the categories because every 10 minutes the cause of injury changed. And then our system started failing. Computer records lagging, networks dropping, staff unable to reach family. It feels like every institution that makes a city function has been shoved sideways at once.
Which hospital?
I'd rather not say. It doesn't matter. They're all getting hit with the same wave.
Fair enough. What do people outside hospitals need to understand right now?
Don't come in because you're scared. Don't drive to an ER because you don't know where else to go. If you're critically injured, yes. If you need immediate life-saving care, yes. But if you just need information, stay away. We are buried. And people keep arriving with bags asking where their relatives are, like we can just stop and search for them manually while stretchers are lining hallways.
That's hard to hear, but necessary.
Also, if anybody tells you hospitals are safe zones just because they're hospitals, stop repeating that like it's magic. We are trying. We are doing everything humanly possible. But overwhelmed is overwhelmed.
Are staff holding?
Some are. Some are breaking in bathrooms for 60 seconds and then coming back out. Some can't leave because the roads are compromised. Some don't know if their own children are safe, and they're still working. That's where we are.
Then let me say this on behalf of a lot of listeners. Thank you for holding the line.
Just tell people to stop treating this like a rumor. That's all. We don't have room for denial anymore.
Understood.
That may be the clearest call we've had all day.
Yes, and it matches everything else. The systems aren't failing one by one. They're being pushed all at once.
Which is exactly what a city fears most.
We're staying on air. That decision is made. As long as we can provide useful information, and as long as we're not directly overrun, this signal stays up.
Then let's keep giving people something steady to hold on to.
Agreed. We've lost main power in parts of the building. We are on generator now. If our sound shifts at all, that's why. The city is entering the phase people always pray never comes. The phase where the systems beneath daily life begin to fail faster than they can be restored.
Rolling blackouts, water concerns, transit shutdowns, communication blackouts in whole neighborhoods. You can feel the city fraying in real time.
And once a city loses certainty about power, water, movement, and communication, fear finds every empty space.
We've got fresh reports that the subway system has multiple sections offline, with passengers stranded underground, and rescue efforts slowed by the same communication failures hitting everything else.
We're going to the phones. You're on RedZone.
I'm calling from an apartment in Brooklyn. My sister is trapped underground. We were on the phone when the train stopped and the lights went weird, and now all I get are broken messages from her whenever something slips through. She said there are people crying, kids screaming, some older man having chest pains, and nobody knows if they should try to walk the tracks or wait. I don't know what to tell her. I feel useless.
All right. First, Tell her not to leave the train or platform area unless instructed by crew or emergency responders. That has to be the rule. People die in tunnels when fear makes them improvise. Has she heard any train staff?
Yes, on and off. She said the staff are trying, but the messages are inconsistent. 1 minute they say wait, then somebody else says evacuation may be coming, then silence again.
That tracks with what we're hearing. The systems that coordinate instructions are unstable, but random self-evacuation into dark tunnels is not the answer, unless official personnel direct it.
She keeps asking if this means the city is done. She's texting me things like, "Tell Mom I love her," and I'm trying not to lose it because if I lose it, she loses it.
Then you keep being the calm voice. You tell her this is a severe transit emergency inside a larger attack, and neither of those things means she is already lost. People endure long waits underground in bad conditions and come out alive. The worst thing she can do right now is let panic write the ending before events do.
I'm writing that down. I'm literally writing that down.
Good. Also tell her to stay near train crew or organized groups, conserve phone use, and if there are medically vulnerable people, help the staff identify them first. Structure keeps panic from spreading.
Thank you. I needed somebody to sound like a person and not a siren.
We're still people in here too.
I can hear that. Thank you.
Generator just coughed. I heard it. Engineer says fuel is fine for now, but for now is doing a lot of work. We're also getting reports of looting in some areas.
Which was always coming. The minute supply fear sets in and authority looks stretched thin, some people protect neighbors, and some people go hunting for opportunity.
There's another line. Go ahead.
I'm calling from Lower Manhattan, and I want people uptown and outside the city to understand something. Once the power cuts and the network drops, rumor becomes the loudest thing in the room. That's what's happening here. One block says the military has secured the area. The next block says enemy forces are moving 2 streets over. The next says the water is unsafe. Nobody knows what's true, but everybody acts on something.
Are you in immediate danger?
Not this second. I'm in a building lobby with maybe 20 other people because it's got interior space and a working radio. We've basically turned it into an information corner. People come in, ask what we know, realize we don't know much, then either stay because uncertainty feels safer in a group, or leave because sitting still makes them crazy.
Have you seen direct fighting?
Heard it, yes. Saw aftermath, yes. Broken glass, abandoned vehicles, people moving low and fast like they know open streets are dangerous. You can tell the city's rhythm is gone. That's maybe the strangest part. New York always has a rhythm. Right now it feels like somebody cut the music and left only impact sounds.
What do the people with you need most?
Truth, even if it's incomplete. Water, a place to charge phones, which is almost funny now, and some way to know whether staying overnight in place is smarter than trying to relocate before dark.
We don't have the overnight answer yet.
Nobody does. That's what I'm saying. The worst part isn't just danger, it's the blank spaces where guidance should be.
Are people helping each other?
More than I expected, honestly. Strangers sharing batteries, snacks, meds, charger cords that don't even matter once the outlets die. New Yorkers get a reputation for being cold, but in a real emergency, the city turns strangely personal.
That sounds right.
Tell people that. Tell them not to let the worst actors define the day.
I will.
And there it is again. Alongside the breakdown, the people choosing to hold something together, even when the official structure is slipping.
Mike, we also have reports now about possible threats to water infrastructure.
Emphasis on reports. But if they're true, then this is not just about immediate combat anymore. It's about sustaining life in a city under pressure.
Which changes how people think about staying versus leaving.
Yes, though leaving for where remains the unanswered question.
Another call coming in. You're on RedZone.
I'm a pharmacist. Or I was a pharmacist this morning. Now I'm standing in the back of a store that got rushed by people who weren't even all stealing. Some of them were just desperate, and trying to grab insulin, antibiotics, inhalers, anything they thought might keep somebody alive if they got cut off. I'm not even angry. I'm scared, because once medicine becomes panic currency, the social contract is done.
That is a hard sentence, but I know what you mean. Are you safe right now?
Safer than the front of the store. We locked what we could, but the truth is, once people believe tomorrow's supply line is gone, they stop behaving like customers and start behaving like survivors. And I don't even know if they're wrong.
What should people know about medication right now?
Don't take random things because fear told you to stockpile. Don't rip open somebody else's treatment plan because you think more is better. If you have essential prescriptions, secure what you already have. Ration sanely if refill systems fail, and do not create a second emergency by poisoning yourself with bad guesses.
Are there organized authorities in your area?
In flashes. A patrol car went by, then nothing for 20 minutes, then more sirens somewhere else. It feels like protection moves in bursts, and absence fills the rest.
That description applies to a lot of the city right now.
I know. That's why I called. Because people listening need to understand the collapse doesn't feel dramatic every second. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's a line not moving, a screen not loading, a register failing, a freezer warming up. Then suddenly, everybody realizes what that means.
That may be one of the most accurate descriptions we've heard all day.
I wish I were wrong.
So do I.
We've got time for one more. Go ahead.
Retired sanitation. Lifelong New Yorker. I'm calling because I keep hearing people say the city's done, the city's finished, the city's over. And I need younger people listening to understand that cities don't end in one afternoon just because systems crack. They bend. They bleed. They go dark in places, but human beings inside them keep improvising. That's what a city is.
Where are you calling from?
Queens. Apartment building common room. We moved the older residents down because elevators are spotty and some of them can't do the stairs twice. So now we've got a little camp situation going. One person's making a list of meds, one person's handling bottled water, one person's writing down family contacts the old-fashioned way in case phones die. You'd be amazed how fast people get competent when they finally accept reality.
That is useful advice in itself.
That's why I'm calling. Tell listeners to stop waiting for the perfect instruction set. If you've got a building, organize the building. If you've got a block, know the block. Check on the old lady upstairs, the diabetic guy down the hall, the single mom with 2 kids who's pretending she's fine because she doesn't have time not to be.
You sound very calm.
I'm not calm. I'm focused. Different thing. I'm plenty scared. But fear with a task attached is easier to carry than fear by itself.
That might be one of the smartest things anyone has said today.
We don't get to choose the day, kid. We only choose how useful we are in it.
Thank you for that.
Stay on the air as long as you can.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. And maybe that's where we end this first section of the day. Not with certainty, because there still isn't any, and not with comfort, because that would be dishonest, but with a clearer picture of what the first 5 hours have done. They have stripped away routine. They have exposed how quickly a modern city can slide from inconvenience into emergency, from emergency into breakdown. But they have also revealed something else.
That people start building little islands of order the second the larger map fails.
Exactly. Families, buildings, crews, hospital staff, transit workers, strangers with a working radio in a lobby, a common room in Queens, a pharmacist trying to stop panic from turning into poison, a mother talking herself into trusting a school lockdown she hates, a fisherman who knew the horizon was wrong before the country did.
And all of them are part of the same story now.
Yes, the story is no longer whether this is real. It is real. The story is what survives the opening shock. Power is unstable. Transit is compromised. Water may be at risk. Communications are failing in patches. Roadways are choking. And New York, like the rest of the country, is entering the next phase with too few answers and too much to lose.
We're still here.
We are. And as long as we are, we keep talking. We keep sorting signal from noise. We keep people connected long enough to make the next decision, and the next one after that.
Stay inside unless you have a clear reason to move. Charge what you can. Store water. Check on people. Conserve your phone. Keep listening.
We are still here. If you're hearing us, then at least one more line of communication in this city is still breathing. The last hour changed the mood again. This is no longer a morning of trying to understand what happened. This is an afternoon of trying to survive what is still happening.
We've had mandatory evacuation orders issued for parts of Lower Manhattan, but the problem is the same problem we've been circling all day. Movement is easier to order than it is to accomplish. Bridges are stressed or blocked. Tunnel access is uncertain. Local streets are jammed, and a lot of people who waited too long to decide are now trying to move all at once.
Which means the order itself may create a second emergency unless people have a real route, a real destination, and enough calm left to make decisions that aren't powered entirely by fear.
We're also hearing reports of U.S. military counteraction in pockets of the city and in surrounding areas. Those reports are still fragmented. Some are coming from official channels, some from witnesses, some from uniformed personnel speaking off-record or in motion. The pattern, though, is becoming harder to deny. This is not one-sided anymore.
No. Whatever the first wave achieved, the response is taking shape. The problem is that shape is uneven. Some areas are seeing signs of organized defense. Other areas are still in the dark, literally and otherwise.
And all of that is happening while people are running low on patience, on medication, on gas, on battery, on the emotional energy it takes to keep pretending this is temporary.
Temporary ended a long time ago. Now we're in the hours that tell people what kind of day this really is.
We have a line open. You're on RedZone.
I'm a veteran, retired Marine. I'm in Hill's kitchen with a group of civilians, maybe 20 if everybody's still where they said they'd be. We started as neighbors checking on one another, then somebody had a first aid kit, somebody else had spare flashlights, one guy had a legal firearm, then another guy did, and now, without really planning it, we've turned a block association into a defense position.
When you say defense position, what does that look like in practical terms?
It looks like people stopping random movement, making sure nobody opens a secure door because a stranger says they need help unless the situation is verified, rotating watch positions near the entrance, keeping older residents away from windows, and trying not to do anything stupid just because adrenaline feels like courage. That last part is the hardest.
Have you had direct contact with military or police?
Not coordinated contact. A patrol passed earlier and told us to remain sheltered and keep civilians off the street. That's about it. We've heard engagement a few blocks south. We've seen smoke. We've heard aircraft. We have not gone looking for a fight, and I want to be really clear about that. People listening need to understand there's a difference between securing your people and fantasizing about being in a war movie.
That is worth repeating.
Yeah, because once folks get scared enough, some of them start talking reckless. We don't need reckless. We need discipline. We need people to stop treating every rumor like a call to charge outside. If your building is intact, if your block can be watched, if your people can be organized, that matters more right now than random heroics.
What are people on your block most afraid of at this point?
Losing the thread. That's the phrase I'd use. It's not just fear of the enemy. It's fear of the city dissolving into isolated pockets that can't trust what they hear. Once that happens, every decision gets heavier. Is that sound close? Is that order real? Is that vehicle friendly? Is that text from family actually from family, or an old delayed message showing up late? The mind gets tired faster than the body.
How are you handling that?
Structure. Real simple structure. Write things down. Assign tasks. Nobody hoards information. Nobody makes a move without telling at least one other person. And maybe most important, nobody gets to spiral out loud for 10 straight minutes and poison the room. Fear is contagious. So is steadiness.
That's strong advice.
Use it if it helps somebody. And tell people this, too. If there's a veteran in your building, don't ask them to become a one-man solution. Ask them to help organize. Those are different things.
Understood.
Stay on the air. A lot of us are using you as our baseline.
We'll stay as long as we can.
That's the clearest description yet of what survival looks like before full collapse.
Not panic, not triumph. Structure.
And humility. He said something important there. Securing your people is not the same as chasing danger.
It's probably the difference between making it to nightfall and not.
Mike, I've got more reports coming in from areas around the river. People saying they can see smoke columns from multiple directions now. It's changing what the sky feels like.
The city used to read weather from the sky. Now it's reading threat.
I've also got messages from listeners asking whether the president has been relocated.
The latest indication is yes. Continuity protocols appear active, but details are tightly controlled, which is understandable. What matters to civilians is not where leadership physically is, but whether orders continue to move and whether they can be trusted when they arrive.
And right now, trust is thinner than it should be.
Because the ground keeps changing under the instructions.
We've got another line. Go ahead.
I'm in Upper Manhattan. My neighborhood hasn't been directly hit, not the way downtown has, but the fear is catching up anyway. We've got people packing bags, then unpacking them, then packing again because nobody knows if they should leave before dark or save their energy and stay put. My elderly mother keeps asking whether she should sleep in her bed tonight or in the hallway. My daughter keeps asking whether school still exists tomorrow. I don't know how to answer questions that sound normal in a day that isn't normal anymore.
You answer them with the truth that is small enough to hold. Tonight matters more than tomorrow at the moment. If your apartment can be secured, and if you are not under immediate threat, an interior sleeping arrangement for the night may be smarter than acting like routine still applies. Hallway, inner room, away from glass if aircraft or shockwaves are a concern. That's practical, not paranoid.
That's what I thought, but I needed to hear another adult say it out loud, because I feel like I've been making it up minute to minute.
Every adult in this city is making it up minute to minute right now. The difference is whether they admit it. The goal isn't to feel certain. The goal is to do the next reasonable thing.
We also heard my area might be receiving evacuees from downtown buildings. People are already talking about opening lobbies, church basements, whatever they can. Is that smart, or is that dangerous?
It can be both. Help has to be organized. Open chaos helps no one. If your building takes people in, somebody has to know who's there, what they need, whether they require medication, whether children are separated from parents, whether anyone's injured. Compassion without structure becomes a second crisis. Compassion with structure saves lives.
That sounds like the whole day in one sentence.
It may be.
I'm trying not to fall apart in front of my daughter. That's the real reason I called.
Then I'm going to tell you something plain. Holding together does not mean pretending you're not frightened. Children know when adults are afraid. What steadies them is seeing that fear can still move with intention. Let her see you prepare. Let her hand you flashlights, water bottles, blankets. Give her a role. Helplessness frightens children more than seriousness does.
I didn't think of that.
Try it. Give her tasks. Small ones, real ones.
Okay, I can do that.
Good. Then you're already doing better than you think.
Thank you.
There's a kind of exhaustion setting in now that's different from panic. You can hear it in people. They're tired, even while the day is still getting worse. Because adrenaline borrowed against time has to be paid back, and the bill is coming due while the emergency is still active. We've got more messages about supply shortages. Water, over-the-counter medicine, baby formula, chargers, batteries, fuel. The usual things people always realize they should have more of right after shelves stop being shelves and become lifelines. And remember, desperation spreads faster than actual scarcity. But once people believe scarcity is permanent, they create the very thing they fear. Another call? You're on RedZone.
I'm calling from Queens. We just heard what sounded like outgoing fire from somewhere west of us, and maybe 10 minutes later, people started shouting from the street that our forces are pushing back. I don't know if that's true, but I can tell you the effect it had. For the first time all day, people's faces changed. Not relief, exactly. More like permission to imagine the day might not just keep getting taken from us in one direction.
That psychological shift matters.
It really does. Because people can endure a lot if they believe somebody somewhere is still contesting this.
The worst stretch was when it felt like everything was only collapsing, and every report was just another loss. The second people thought there might be resistance with teeth behind it, they stood up straighter.
Are you seeing organized response in your immediate area?
Not close enough to describe clearly, but we've got rumors of military movement and some kind of supply coordination point being discussed if conditions allow. Again, I'm not calling to spread rumor. I'm calling because morale is becoming a real variable. If the city believes it's abandoned, behavior changes. If the city believes it's being fought for, behavior changes in a different direction.
That's not rumor. That's human reality.
Exactly. Also, and this is important, people need to stop running every time a car backfires or a transformer pops. Half the city's nerves are shot. Every sound is getting misread as the final sound.
Understandable, but dangerous.
Yeah, we had one little stampede in front of a grocery just because something cracked overhead and nobody knew what it was. No enemy, no strike, just fear tripping over itself. That's how people get hurt for free.
For free. That's a harsh way to put it, but accurate.
That's the day. Nothing's cheap anymore, not even mistakes.
You sound tired.
Everybody sounds tired now.
Fair enough.
Keep going. People need steady voices more than they need polished ones.
We've got steady. Polished left the room hours ago.
That may be the best review we've ever gotten.
I don't think management will use it in a promo.
Probably not, but it's true.
And if you're listening right now, the signal remains the same. Prepare, don't improvise. Organize, don't perform. If you can safely help somebody, help them in a way that can be sustained.
This is what survival mode sounds like. Not brave speeches every second, not grand clarity. Just human beings dragging order through a day that wants to shred it. We've crossed into the part of the day where time itself starts to feel damaged. The clock moves, but people stop trusting it. The morning that felt like a world ago was only hours ago. That's what sustained crisis does. It stretches and compresses the same day until the human mind can't file it correctly anymore.
Communications are nearly dead in entire sections now. Some neighborhoods still have unstable service. Others have gone quiet enough that even one text getting through feels like a message from another century. We are one of fewer and fewer steady broadcasts left in the region, and that fact is not comforting.
No. It means the map of the city is being redrawn according to what can still speak.
Hospitals in some sectors have reportedly stopped updating public channels entirely. Whether that means total overload, relocation, or systems failure, we don't know. Casualty numbers are floating around in ways that are impossible to verify. So let me say this clearly. If you hear large numbers right now, treat them as unconfirmed unless attached to a source you know and trust.
Because at this stage, fear inflates numbers as fast as grief does. And both are understandable, but neither is reliable on its own.
We do have increasing evidence that occupation zones exist in parts of the wider city and surrounding regions, though their exact edges shift depending on who's speaking and when they last moved.
Which means listeners should stop looking for a fixed, clean map. This is not a neat diagram. This is pressure spreading through a living place.
We've got a caller. You're on RedZone.
I'm whispering because I think there are people moving in my building, and I don't know who they are. I'm in downtown Brooklyn. Earlier this afternoon, everything felt loud all at once, and then after that, it got strange and quiet in these little pockets, like the building itself was listening. Now I can hear boots in the stairwell every so often, then silence, then a voice I don't recognize, then doors opening somewhere below me. I have my son in the bathroom with me because it's the only room with no windows.
All right. Stay with me. Do not raise your voice. Do you know whether your building has been entered by enemy personnel, by police, by military, or by panicked residents moving floor to floor?
I don't know. That's the worst part. If I knew, I could decide whether to call out, whether to stay silent, whether to move. But not knowing freezes everything.
Then assume uncertainty is the condition, and make the safest choice inside it. If you can secure the bathroom door without making noise, do that. Keep your son quiet, but not frightened if you can. Whisper tasks to him if he's old enough. Give him something to hold. Water, a towel, anything that makes him feel he has a job.
He keeps asking if they're the bad guys. I don't know what to say, because if it's neighbors, I don't want to terrify him. If it's not neighbors, I don't want to lie.
Tell him there are unknown people in the building, and you're staying quiet until you know more. Children can handle seriousness better than adults think, if the adult voice remains steady. Do you have another exit from your unit?
Fire escape, but I don't want to use it unless I have to.
Good. Don't use it unless there is immediate danger inside the apartment. Movement exposes you to new unknowns. Stillness may feel unbearable, but it is sometimes safer than action.
I can hear doors again. Hold on. Okay, they moved lower, or farther, I can't tell.
Do you have contact with any other tenant by text?
One woman across the hall earlier, but now the messages won't send. I don't know if that's Signal, or if she left, or her phone died.
Then for now, you make your world as small and manageable as possible. Water, quiet, interior position, phone brightness low. Listen more than you move.
Are there still places in the city that are okay?
There are places under less pressure than others. Okay is probably too generous a word for today.
That's honest.
Honesty is what we have left.
Thank you.
That call is going to sit with people. It should. The day is narrowing from public chaos into private fear. Once people start asking whether the footsteps in their own stairwell are safe, the crisis has entered the body of the city, not just its infrastructure.
We're also hearing resistance networks are forming in small ways. Building groups, block groups, amateur radio, handwritten notices, even coded language in community chats before service drops.
Civilization gets very old, very fast when modern systems start failing. People go right back to paper, memory, and whoever they trust enough to knock on.
We have another line. Go ahead.
I'm calling from Harlem. We've got maybe 30 people spread across one block in a loose support setup. Not military, not pretending to be. Just trying to keep track of who needs food, who needs insulin, who has a car that still has gas, who's got family missing, who's still hearing from people downtown. I wanted to call because I keep hearing this word resistance, and I think people need to be careful what they imagine. Most resistance right now is not dramatic. It's boring. It's lists. It's doors being checked. It's old people getting moved away from street-facing windows. It's 3 cousins carrying water upstairs to a man with bad knees. That's resistance too.
I'm glad you said that.
Because some folks hear resistance and immediately picture gunfire and barricades. Maybe some of that exists. I'm sure it does. But if we reduce the word to that, we miss what actually keeps a neighborhood alive. We've got one teenage kid here who has been going apartment to apartment with a notebook, because half the older residents don't know how to use the emergency apps anyway. He probably matters as much as anybody with a weapon right now.
More in some situations.
Exactly. Also, silence is getting weird. Midday in this city should not sound like this. When there's a lull now, it doesn't feel peaceful. It feels like everyone's listening for the next thing at once.
That sentence describes the whole afternoon.
We had one false alarm when somebody thought there was gas leaking because of a smell, and suddenly the whole block tensed up. Turned out it was just something spoiled in a powerless deli fridge. But that's where people's minds are. One smell, one noise, one overheard phrase, and the whole nervous system of the street reacts.
Are people still receiving outside news there?
Bits. Enough to know this is national. Not enough to understand the shape of it. I heard somebody say Allied forces are preparing to help. Somebody else says parts of the military are pushing back in serious ways. Somebody else says the internet is just dead in half the country. I don't know what's true, but I know this block still exists, and so we're acting like that matters.
It does.
Then say that, because people need permission to believe small acts still count when the big picture is horrible.
They count. We're saying it now.
Good.
That may be the central argument of the afternoon. The country is too big to hold in one frightened mind, so people hold what they can. A room, a hallway, a block, a building.
And maybe that's how a place survives its first day. Not by understanding everything, but by refusing to let every small circle break at once.
We've got another call. You're on RedZone.
I finally got a message through to my sister in Queens after not hearing from her since morning, and now I'm crying because I don't know whether I'm crying because she's alive or because the message was so short it felt like a postcard from the edge of the world. It just said, safe for now. That's all. 3 words. I've been staring at them like they contain a whole future.
Sometimes they do. Safe for now is not small today.
I know, but it also made me realize how much we've lowered the definition of good news in a few hours. This morning, good news would have been coffee, traffic moving, something stupid and ordinary. Now, it's proof a person still exists.
That is what days like this do. They collapse life to its load-bearing pieces.
I'm in the Bronx with my father. He's old enough to remember drills from another era, and he keeps saying this feels different, because back then at least people expected the possibility of something huge. He says we spent too many years believing history only happened to other places.
He's not the only one thinking that today.
He also said something else. He said the first night is when the mind really understands what happened, because daylight lets people pretend they can still read the world. Darkness takes that away.
Your father is probably right.
That's what I'm afraid of. We've been all nerves and action all day. I don't know what happens when he gets quiet enough to think.
Then don't make thinking the only thing you do. Before dark, prepare your space. Lights ready but controlled. Water accessible. Shoes on or nearby. Important items together. If thought starts spiraling later, return to tasks. People survive by moving between emotion and function, not by pretending one can replace the other.
He'd like you.
Tell him I said thank you for the wisdom.
I will.
We're heading toward the late afternoon with a city that sounds haunted by itself. If you're still hearing us, understand this. The silence in your building or on your block is not proof nothing is happening. It may only mean the systems that usually carry the sound of society have gone missing.
And in that silence, do not let your imagination become your commanding officer.
Very well put. We have signs now, in enough places to say it without turning it into fantasy, but pushback is underway. Not everywhere, not cleanly, not on a timeline anyone would call reassuring. But the day is no longer only a story of ground being lost.
Reports are coming in of limited military gains in some parts of the city and surrounding regions, and we're hearing from listeners that the mere rumor of organized counterpressure is changing behavior. People who spend hours feeling hunted are now starting, carefully, to feel accompanied.
That feeling matters, but it can also make people reckless if they mistake someone is fighting back for my immediate area is now safe. Those are not the same statement. Do not hear one and assume the other.
We're also hearing fears of electronic disruption spreading. Some areas appear to be experiencing near total shutdown of ordinary digital life. Whether that's from direct action, overload, damage, or some combination of all three, the result is the same for civilians. The modern reflex to verify, refresh, and search is becoming less and less available.
Which means trust is shifting toward voice, proximity, and repetition. If you hear the same thing from 3 panicked strangers online, that means very little. If you hear the same thing from your building, your block, your radio, and a visible authority figure, that means more.
We have a line. You're on RedZone.
I'm with a National Guard unit operating on the move, and I can't give exact location, but I can say this much. Civilians need to stay off open roads where they do not absolutely need to be. We are trying to move through areas where every unnecessary civilian vehicle becomes both a hazard and a heartbreak. Some people are still trying to get a look or drive toward rumored safe zones with no confirmation those zones still function. That has to stop.
Are you seeing actual progress?
In places, yes. Enough to say this city is not abandoned. Enough to say the enemy is meeting real resistance. Not enough to promise anybody that the next 2 hours are easy. People need to hold both truths in their heads at once.
That's hard for civilians.
I know, but this is not a day designed to be easy on the mind. Also, tell people if they see uniforms they don't recognize, that alone is not a reason to run into the streets screaming for answers. Some of our own people are moving in combinations civilians are not used to seeing. The best thing civilians can do is reduce noise, reduce movement, and obey direct instructions from verifiable personnel when they're present.
Are supply drops or aid points being established?
In some areas, that's being discussed or attempted. But again, and I really need this to land, if you hear one rumor about a supply point and everybody rushes it, you create a target and a disaster at the same time. People need to wait for repeatable information.
Understood.
And one more thing. If you've got people in your building who are injured or cannot move easily, make that known in whatever neighborhood network you still have. Once the path opens, vulnerable people need to be identified fast, not discovered late.
That's important.
We're fighting. Tell them that. People need to know we're fighting.
We're telling them now.
There it is. Not a promise, not a speech, but a confirmation people have needed all day.
We're fighting. You can hear what that does to the room.
It puts spine back into the atmosphere.
Another line. Go ahead.
I'm calling from inside the radio station building next door to your block. I don't want to say exactly where, but we can hear movement outside that sounds closer than before, and I'm not sure whether calling is smart or stupid. I just needed to hear another human voice answer.
Then you made the right decision. You're hearing movement outside the building. Are you secure inside?
For now. We moved away from the windows and down the interior hall. There are 6 of us. One guy cut his arm on shattered glass hours ago, but it's wrapped. We've got some water, not much food, and one battery lamp that's starting to fade.
Listen carefully. If you are secure and not directly exposed, your priority is staying quiet, not seeking better information by moving. Curiosity is dangerous. Confirmation can wait if the price is exposure.
That's what I thought, but everyone keeps having the same conversation every 10 minutes. Should we make a run for another floor? Should we go to the basement? Should we try to get out the back? I'm tired of being the one saying, I don't know.
I don't know may be the most responsible sentence available if the alternatives are guesses dressed as leadership. What matters is whether your current position can still be defended by silence and cover. If yes, stay. If something changes, fire, breach, direct threat, then move with the group, not as 6 separate panics.
I feel like every personality flaw is getting magnified. The loud people are louder, the anxious people are vibrating. The one guy who always thinks he knows best is impossible right now.
Crisis reveals character quickly. Do not try to fix everyone's personality this afternoon. Fix the group's function. Keep decisions simple. One person watches the door, one tracks supplies, one tends the injured arm, one keeps time. Simplicity reduces argument.
That actually helps a lot.
Good. Make the room smaller, the tasks clearer, and the conversations shorter.
You should have been a therapist.
Today, I'm barely a radio host.
You're more useful than that.
I appreciate it. Stay quiet and stay together.
We will.
Mike, you need to sit for a second.
I'm fine.
You said that last time and then grabbed the side of the desk.
I'm still here.
Then let me take this next one.
You've got it.
You're on RedZone.
I'm in Queens, and I just heard from somebody saying there may be a supply drop or distribution point being organized near a park. And I'm calling because I want you to tell people not to turn one rumor into a mob. My building heard it, and half the younger guys wanted to bolt immediately. We had to physically talk them down, because no one could answer the basic questions. Who confirmed it? When? Is it protected? Is it still there? Is the route open? None of that was clear.
That is exactly the right instinct.
We're all starving for certainty now, and rumor comes dressed like certainty when people are tired. That's what makes it dangerous. If somebody says there's food in the park at 10 this morning, by 3 in the afternoon, that sentence has mutated into the military is handing out supplies and it's safe there. And by the time people move on it, the original information may not even exist anymore.
Are people in your area still staying organized?
Mostly. We've got one hallway acting like mission control. It's ridiculous and kind of beautiful. Extension cords that don't matter anymore, canned food inventories on the wall, handwritten apartment numbers, notes about who has asthma, who has a flashlight, who can't do stairs. It's primitive and weirdly efficient.
That sounds like the city adapting faster than the official systems can.
Exactly. Also, hearing an actual guard voice earlier mattered. It changed how my dad looked. He's been sitting there like the world had already ended.
After that call, he just nodded once and got up and started taping blankets over the glass. That's what morale looks like, I guess. Not cheering, just getting up. Not cheering, just getting up. That's perfect. Use it if you want.
I already did.
That is the afternoon in one image. Not cheering, just getting up.
And if you're listening, that may be enough for now. You do not need to feel inspired. You need to keep functioning.
We are closer to the evening than we should be, and the station itself is feeling the day now. But the signal is still up, and so are we. We need to say this plainly now. The building is no longer insulated from the day in any meaningful way. We have heard impacts nearby. We have heard movement in adjoining structures. Security downstairs is limited, uncertain, and dealing with more than one problem at once. If our signal becomes unstable, it is because the perimeter of ordinary work has finally collapsed around us.
The generator is running low. We have enough to keep going for a while. But a while has become one of those phrases that means less every hour. We are also hearing that other stations have gone dark, one by one, either from power loss, evacuation, damage, or some combination of the three, which leaves fewer voices and more silence. And silence, on a day like this, is never empty. People fill it with whatever fear is waiting nearest. We are hearing widespread attempts to evacuate from areas that may no longer have clear exits. Some are succeeding, some are stalling, some are circling inside confusion because every route depends on information that may already be outdated. If you are in place and relatively secure, the advice remains what it has increasingly become all day. Do not move unless movement clearly improves your odds.
We've got a line. Go ahead.
I got through to my family for maybe 30 seconds, and I don't think I'll get through again, so I'm calling because I don't know where else to put what just happened. My husband and I were separated this morning. He was downtown for work, and I was uptown with our daughter. All day I've been trying and failing to reach him. Then suddenly the phone rang, and it was him, and he sounded older. Not hurt, just older. Like the day had sanded 10 years off the inside of his voice. He said he was alive, sheltering with strangers, and that if we got cut off, I should not spend the night trying to chase him through the city.
That sounds like good advice, even if it hurt to hear.
It did, because part of me wanted him to say, "Come get me," or "I'm on my way," something active, something movie-like. Instead, he was practical. He said, "Take care of her. Stay put. If we both move, we disappear."
He's right.
I know. That's the terrible part. He's right, and I hate him for being right, because right now, I want to do something impossible and call it love.
Sometimes love is exactly what he asked for, not pursuit, endurance. The fantasy version of care is dramatic. The real version is often stillness that feels unbearable.
My daughter heard his voice, and now she won't stop asking when he's coming home. I don't know how to answer that without breaking in half.
You answer with the truest small thing available. He is alive. He is trying to stay safe. We are staying safe too. Do not promise a clock you do not control. Promise connection where you can.
It feels so thin.
Thin truths are still stronger than beautiful lies on a day like this.
Are we supposed to sleep tonight? That sounds stupid, but I mean it.
It does not sound stupid. Yes, in pieces if you can. People make worse decisions after too many hours of unbroken fear. If you are with another adult, rotate rest. If you are alone, make your space as secure as possible and let your body take what sleep it can. Survival is not only action, it's also preserving judgment.
I needed that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We just heard pounding somewhere below us.
I heard it too.
Security says they're checking. That's all we know.
That is not a combing sentence, but it's the sentence we have.
Another line, you're on RedZone.
I'm calling from a car that isn't moving and hasn't moved more than 3 blocks in an hour. We left because my wife's parents are in another borough and need medicine. And now I think we made the exact mistake you've been warning people about.
We're in this river of vehicles where nobody knows if the road ahead is blocked by wrecks, checkpoints, damage, panic, or all of it. Every few minutes, somebody gets out to look, which makes it worse. Then another rumor sweeps backward through the line. Bridge closed. Bridge open. Turn around. Don't turn around. Nobody knows.
Can you safely reverse course?
Not really. We're boxed in enough that leaving the car would mean leaving it for good, and walking with 2 kids and a cooler of meds we don't even know will matter if we don't get there. It's like we took urgency and drove straight into paralysis.
Are emergency vehicles moving through?
Occasionally, barely. That's the other thing making me sick. I keep thinking we're part of the problem now. Like maybe somewhere behind us, somebody actually needs the road, and we're just another civilian mistake hardening into traffic.
You are not the only one. That does not make it harmless, but it does make it human. Listen carefully. If you cannot safely clear the road now, stop trying to invent dramatic solutions. Stay in the vehicle. Conserve fuel. Keep the children calm. If authorities begin directing lanes or foot movement, follow that. Panic exits from vehicles and jammed corridors create injury fast.
My son keeps asking why everybody is honking if honking doesn't make the cars move.
Your son understands traffic better than a lot of adults.
Yeah, he's 6, and somehow he's already smarter than me.
Not smarter, less compromised by fear.
Fair. I just keep replaying the moment we decided to leave. It felt responsible. Now it feels selfish, stupid, all of it.
It felt responsible because you were trying to help family. Don't rewrite it into moral failure just because the road punished the decision. Right now, what matters is what you do next, not how elegantly you describe the mistake.
That actually lands. Thanks.
Good. Keep the radio up and the arguments down.
We can do that.
The road itself has become its own kind of trap now. Not moving, not safe, not fully escapable.
And that means the idea of leaving is no longer one idea. It's 100 different realities depending on where you are, who you're carrying, and how much luck the route demands.
We have another call. Go ahead.
I'm in the building across from where I work, hiding with 3 coworkers because our office became impossible once the windows blew. I just needed to say thank you before your signal goes away, if it goes away. Because all day I kept hearing your voices, and it made the city feel less taken from us. That sounds melodramatic, but I don't care anymore.
It doesn't sound melodramatic. It sounds like a day that stripped embarrassment out of people.
Maybe. One of the women with me finally got her son on a school message chain, and he's safe. Another hasn't heard from her husband since noon. We've all been taking turns pretending to be the calm one, and nobody's fooling anybody, but the pretending still helps somehow.
It does. Performance and reality aren't always enemies. Sometimes we perform calm long enough for a little real calm to gather around it.
I'm going to repeat that to them in a second.
Please do.
Also, for what it's worth, I can hear fewer random civilian sounds outside now. Fewer people shouting, less car noise, more distant movement I can't place. It feels like the city is inhaling and waiting.
That's a powerful description. And I suspect a lot of people know exactly what you mean.
I'm scared of the dark.
So is half the city. Maybe more.
I'm 41 years old.
Fear does not care.
Fair enough.
Keep your group together. Low light. Shared decisions. No solo heroics.
Thank you. Truly.
We may have minutes, we may have longer, we may have less. We don't know. But if this becomes the last stable stretch of broadcasts from us for a while, I want to say something before the day closes over it.
Go ahead.
To everybody who has spent this day doing the unglamorous work of keeping other people alive, calm, organized, accounted for, to the nurses, the transit workers, the block captains nobody voted for who just stood up because somebody had to, the parents who answered impossible questions with the smallest honest answer they could carry, the people making lists by flashlight, the people sharing medicine, the people not turning one rumor into a stampede, You are the shape of the country right now as much as anything with a uniform.
Well said.
I needed to say it before we lost the chance.
And if this is not the last chance, we'll say it again.
Gladly.
This may be our last full power segment from this room. If it is, I want to be clear about one thing. The city did not vanish today. It was struck, it was cut, it was frightened, it was thrown into confusion and blood and darkness in places, but it did not vanish. People remained themselves at the moment they had the least reason to. That matters. History is built out of moments like that, not just out of maps and battles.
We're still here.
Yes, for as long as we can manage it. If you're hearing this, then against a number of very convincing arguments made by the day, we are still on the air, though not in the way we were. The main studio is no longer a dependable place to broadcast from. We're operating on reduced power, in a secondary position inside the building, with what equipment could be carried, patched, or made to behave. So if the sound is rough, that is because the day has been rougher.
We are alive. We are tired enough that words have started feeling heavier than they should, but we are here. And outside, the light is beginning to go in a city that no longer knows what nighttime means under these conditions.
The first day has not ended cleanly. There is no clean ending to a day like this. There are only transitions between one form of uncertainty and another. Reports continue to come in, fragmented, delayed, contradictory in places, about areas regained, areas still under pressure, coalition responses forming, military counterplans taking shape, local resistance networks solidifying. But all of that belongs partly to tomorrow, and partly to a future not yet earned.
Tonight belongs to survival.
Exactly. Tonight belongs to getting through the dark without making your situation worse because darkness made your mind loud.
We've got a line, somehow. Go ahead.
I didn't think anybody was still broadcasting. I'm in the Bronx with my sister and two neighbors, and when your voices came back on, she started crying so hard I thought she'd choke. Not because of what you said, just because it meant something had lasted. Do you understand? Today has been so much loss of function, loss of certainty, loss of contact, that just hearing something return feels almost holy.
I think I understand.
We spent the last hour turning one apartment into a place 4 households can make it through the night if we have to. Mattresses on the floor in the hallway, pots filled with water, every flashlight tested, every phone putting airplane mode unless we need it, everyone writing important numbers on paper like it's 1983. I'm saying this because earlier I would have been embarrassed by how makeshift it looks. Now it feels intelligent.
It is intelligent.
Also, one of our neighbors is a kid, maybe 14, and he asked if this means America lost. None of us knew what to say at first, because that question is too big for a hallway full of scared people. Then the oldest woman there, 80 if she's a day, said countries don't fit in one afternoon, and I swear the whole room relaxed a little.
That woman is wiser than half the internet put together.
No argument there. We're all changed by today, I know that. But I wanted somebody on the air to hear that sentence before it disappeared into one apartment.
I'm glad you called with it.
Me too.
Countries don't fit in one afternoon. That may be the sentence we needed for the first night.
Write it down if you have paper.
Better than that, say it to somebody.
We've got another one. You're on RedZone.
I'm calling from somewhere in Midtown. I'm not going to say more than that. I just wanted to tell you I found my brother. Not physically, not yet, but I found out he's alive. He was one of those people who vanished into the dead zones earlier, and I spent half the day preparing myself for news that never came. Then a message got relayed through 3 different people, like we were living in a century without technology, and now I know he's alive and heading toward a safer building for the night.
That is real good news.
It is, but it also came with this weird guilt, because so many people are still waiting. I'm relieved and ashamed at the same time. Is that normal?
On a day like this, yes. Relief often arrives carrying the shadow of everybody who didn't get it. Do not punish yourself for receiving good news. Use the steadiness it gives you.
I'm trying. I've got 2 other women here with me. One got word her husband is safe. One hasn't heard anything from anyone.
We're trying to decide whether to rotate sleep or all stay awake together, because being awake feels like control, even though I know it's fake control.
Rotate if you can. Collective exhaustion is not strength. Shared rest, even thin rest, gives a group better judgment than 3 people staring into the dark, daring themselves not to blink.
We also keep having this urge to check the window, like maybe if we look often enough, the outside will explain itself.
It won't. And repeated exposure to uncertainty through glass is still exposure. Check only when necessary. Curiosity is expensive tonight.
That should be on a poster.
I'll have one printed when civilization returns.
I'd buy it.
Stay inside. Stay together.
We will. And thank you for sounding tired in a normal way. It makes me feel less alone.
I have never received that compliment before, but I'll take it.
We've got one more line. Go ahead.
I'm downtown, or what counts as downtown in the way today broke the map, and I just wanted to say that there are still pockets of people helping each other in places outsiders might assume are gone. We've got a church basement open, a bodega owner distributing what he has left without pretending he can do it forever, a mid-student stitching a cut on a folding chair, and 3 different people taking turns at the door because nobody trusts any single sound anymore. I don't know what tomorrow is, but I know tonight there are still decent people inside the damage.
That matters more than you know.
I think it's all that matters at this hour. The big answers can wait till sunrise. Right now is soup, bandages, names, and making sure nobody sits alone if they don't want to.
How are people holding emotionally?
Strange mix. Numb for 10 minutes, then talking too much, then dead quiet. Someone starts laughing at the wrong thing and then crying because the laugh felt wrong. You can tell the body doesn't know what category to file the day under yet.
It won't for a while.
Yeah, I figured that. Also, if anybody's listening and they're ashamed they didn't do something dramatic today, tell them to let that go. Most of us did tiny things. Tiny things are what the day was made of.
I'm glad you said it.
Good. Say it back louder than me then.
Tiny things are what the day was made of.
There you go.
There we go.
The first night is here.
Yes, and the city, whatever else it is now, is entering it wounded, altered, and still very much populated by human beings trying to decide what morning can possibly mean after this.
We don't have clean answers for that.
No, but we do have a few truths worth carrying into the dark. If you are sheltered, stay sheltered, unless the facts change. If you are with others, share the burden of staying alert. If you have water, guard it, but don't become foolish with it. If you have medication, organize it now, not when you're half asleep and frightened. If you know someone vulnerable nearby, check on them if it can be done safely. And if you cannot sleep, do not confuse wakefulness with control.
Also, keep your world small enough to manage. 1 room, 1 hallway, 1 floor, 1 building, 1 set of tasks. The whole country is too large to carry tonight. Carry what is actually in your hands.
That may be the most useful thing anyone can say at the end of a day like this.
It's helping me too.
Me too.
We said earlier that the city no longer sounded like itself. I think that's still true, but it also sounds like some older version of itself now. People calling across hallways, people writing names on paper, people asking neighbors what they need instead of scrolling for it. It's terrible that it took this to strip us back to the studs, but once stripped, you do start seeing what the place is made of.
And what it is made of, despite everything we heard and feared today, is still people.
Tired people.
Frightened people.
Useful people.
Grieving people.
Stubborn people.
New Yorkers.
Americans.
We do not know what tomorrow brings. We do not know how much of the city will wake to power, to signal, to movement, to orders that make sense. We do not know which reports of liberation are solid and which are only hope moving faster than logistics. We do not know how long this continues. Anyone pretending to know is selling a comfort this day has not earned.
But we do know this. The first 12 hours did not erase us.
No, they didn't.
They changed us.
Absolutely.
They frightened us.
Deeply.
But they did not erase us.
And that is where we leave you for now. Not with triumph, not with false certainty, not with some polished sentence that tries to make suffering cinematic. Just this. If you are hearing us, survive tonight. Protect the people with you. Refuse useless panic. Hold the line where you are able. Let tomorrow arrive before you demand answers only tomorrow can give.
We will broadcast again if we can. From here, from somewhere else in this building, from a hallway, from a stairwell, from whatever still works.
They can damage signal. They cannot permanently cancel witness.
They can occupy streets. They cannot occupy every promise people make to each other in the dark.
This is Michael Hale.
And Jenny.
For the first night of a changed country.
Stay alive, stay kind, stay ready.
We'll be back if we can.
And if you can hear this, so are you.